It is estimated that within South Africa alone, around 150 billion rand is lost to corporate IT crime. 95% of all the cases investigated are associated with the abuse of the simple, outdated username and password system. SuperSign is an IT access control system, securing access into your IT systems with world-class biometrics. SuperSign uses existing network resources like Active Directory and Novell eDirectory to secure access into a multitude of applications, using a simple plug-and-play method to integrate quickly into your current critical business applications. Fingerprint technology is a simple and convenient way to log onto your IT system and cuts the losses associated with unauthorized access into your network and business applications. Unlike the prehistoric password system, fingerprints cannot be lost, stolen, forgotten, or shared. I will now take you through the SuperSign software so you can see the true value of this incredible system. Let's start right at the beginning. Adding a user to the directory software, in this case Active Directory. After opening the Active Directory software, I'll start a standard add user process. This process is not at all affected by SuperSign, requiring less training and hassle. In this example, we will add a user called John Doe, with the logon name John D. The next process is adding a standard password. You will also note that the user must change password at next logon option is selected. SuperSign will change the password at next logon according to the configured company policy, creating an environment where neither the user nor the administrator ever knows the password. The user is now added in the domain software, and we now need to create a profile on the SuperSign software. This profile contains information about when and where a user can log on in your IT system. Upon opening the SuperSign software, we need to enter a username. This is authenticated by fingerprint to gain access to the SuperSign administrator software, securing and monitoring access of your administrators. SuperSign integrates at a high level with your directory software. All current active users on your domain will be displayed in the administrator software. We have to create a SuperSign profile for the John Doe user we have created in the previous step. Select the user and then right-click to copy from another user. As you can see here, we are opting to copy from another administrator user. We enter the Windows logon information for that user profile, completing the Windows logon credential. Every organization has their own internal applications that they want to protect with biometric logon. I will show you how simple it is to add a form to a user's profile. In the top left corner, we have a forms repository. The forms repository contains all of the forms that are ready to be assigned to user profiles. I will show you a few sample applications. The first application is a HR and payroll system with both logon and a few transaction forms. A form is assigned to a user with a simple drag and drop from the repository to the profile. Next, I will add a banking website and a social media site like Facebook. Each of these applications can have set criteria that determine how the forms are filled. In the Facebook example, the administrator never has to know what the Facebook username and password is. The form in this example is set up to capture the username and password on first use. Thereafter, the user never has to fill that form with text again. With other business critical applications, however, the administrator or even the system might be the only one that assigns a password, taking the risk out of users forgetting or sharing passwords. Another security feature of the SuperSign enrollment module is duplicate fingerprint check. This eliminates ghost users on your IT system, ensuring that users' fingerprints can only be enrolled once. The first step in the enrollment process is to verify the enroller. The enrollee will then be enrolled and validated. As soon as we submit the enrollment, the system runs the enrolled fingerprints through the current database of users. As seen on screen, the user exists as someone else on the system and the enrollment is cancelled. The system also keeps a full log of failed enrollment attempts, showing who tried to enroll who, at what time, closing every possible loophole in the enrollment process. SuperSign enrollment is a very secure process, requiring input of not only the person being enrolled, but also two external users. When we start the enrollment process, an enroller is required to enter a username and verify his fingerprint. The username of the enrollee is entered. We can then start fingerprint enrollment of this user. Up to 10 fingerprints can be enrolled per user. 3 fingerprint captures per finger is enrolled to get the absolute best quality out of any finger. In this example, we will enroll only 2 fingers. The third person required is the witness. The witness has to be a valid user on the system and is also verified by fingerprint. Once all validations have been completed, the record and enrollment log is stored in the database and enrollment is complete. The user has now been added and configured on the domain, and he can now log on to Windows. The username is entered. His profile is then collected from the server, whereafter the fingerprint biometric is verified. Since this is the first logon of the user, SuperSign will inform the user that his password will be changed. The user acknowledges this change by verifying the fingerprint. The password is thus changed, so nobody can now access the machine without a biometric validation. Every consecutive logon is now established by verifying username and fingerprint, making standard logon easy and secure. By making the username a part of the logon process, we address 2 security principles: what you know and who you are. Logging onto an application is even easier than logging onto the operating system. You simply open the application, place your finger on the reader, and you're logged in. No forgetting passwords anymore, just a secure and convenient logon process. Not only can SuperSign protect applications from unauthorized logon, but can also protect your transaction processing systems. In this video, we show an HR and payroll application where the user initiates a payroll run. When the user clicks on Run Payroll, he is immediately challenged with a biometric validation. If this validation is successful, the user is allowed to continue. This transaction is stored in the SuperSign database, detailing who did what, when, and where. Also including the biometric information that was used at the point of transaction. Non-repudiation principles lie at the very heart of the SuperSign system. Another example of in-application validation is when a user wants to view sensitive information. This information could include viewing of a payslip. Before the payslip can be viewed, a successful biometric validation has to be completed. For added security, you can integrate the SuperSign SDK right into your own application. This could be for a security benefit, or that the type of application you have is not a standard WinForms application. As seen here, we log into a terminal type application. The application requests a biometric verification from SuperSign. Should the verification be successful, the system logs on without any password ever being recorded. SuperSign supports logon for web forms. Everybody knows and loves Facebook, so we will use that as an example. As soon as the Facebook page is opened, SuperSign will immediately challenge the user with a biometric verification. Upon successful verification of the fingerprint, the username and password associated with the logged-in Windows account is filled into the Facebook page. SuperSign then also submits the information and the user is logged on. This principle also applies to banking websites.